Most men miss the signs when a woman starts catching feelings. And by the time they notice, the opportunity is either gone or they've already misread the situation. This video will break down 10 key phrases women say when they're developing feelings, phrases that might seem casual at first, but actually reveal deeper interest. More importantly, I'll show you how a Stoic, high-value man interprets these signals and responds with composure. Picture this: you're texting a woman, and at first, everything seems like small talk. But then, her words start to shift, subtle hints that say more than just casual conversation. Maybe she mentions feeling safe around you. Maybe she says you're different from other guys. Do you recognize what she's really saying? By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of these signals and how to handle them in a way that builds attraction without compromising your self-respect. Before we get into the signs, let's take a step back. A Stoic man doesn't overanalyze, chase validation, or let emotions dictate his actions. He recognizes patterns, understands behavior, and responds with calm and confidence, not desperation. Marcus Aurelius taught that we should focus only on what we can control. You can't control how a woman feels, but you can control how you respond to her signals. Seneca spoke about maintaining composure, even in uncertainty. A high-value man doesn't need immediate clarity. He understands that things unfold over time. Epictetus emphasized self-discipline. If you let emotions or attachment drive your actions, you'll react impulsively rather than strategically. When a woman starts showing interest, a Stoic approach means recognizing the moment without reacting emotionally. That's what separates a high-value man from someone who chases or misinterprets signals. Now, let's put this into perspective with a real-life example. Imagine a man who once dismissed a woman's subtle hints because they seemed unimportant. Maybe she mentioned thinking about him during her day, or she joked about how they'd make a great team. Instead of recognizing these as signals of interest, he brushed them off as friendly conversation. Months later, he realized too late that she had been testing the waters, seeing if he'd pick up on the cues. Instead of leading the interaction confidently, he was passive, and eventually she lost interest. How many times has this happened to you? Have you ever looked back on a situation and thought, I didn't realize she was into me? If so, you're not alone. Drop a comment if you've ever missed a sign in the past. I guarantee you're not the only one. Now, let's move forward and break down why most men miss these signals and how you can train yourself to recognize them before it's too late. At this point, you're already starting to see the value of recognizing subtle signals. But understanding them is just one part of the equation. If you want to develop a mindset that allows you to navigate relationships and life with clarity, control, and confidence, then you need to be intentional about growth. That's why this channel exists, to give men the tools they need to develop a Stoic, high-value mindset in all areas of life. If you're serious about this journey, take a moment right now to do 3 things. Subscribe to the channel. This ensures you don't miss future content designed to strengthen your mindset. 2. Drop a comment below. Engaging with the content helps solidify what you're learning and opens up discussion with like-minded men. 3. Share this video with a friend. Iron sharpens iron, and bringing others into the mindset of self-mastery helps everyone grow. We're building a community of men who prioritize emotional control, self-respect, and personal growth, not men who chase, overanalyze, or act out of insecurity. If that sounds like something you want to be part of, now is the time to get involved. Before we continue, here's what you can expect from the rest of this video. First, we'll break down why most men miss these signs, the myths, misconceptions, and blind spots that hold them back. Then we'll go step by step through the 10 phrases women say when they're catching feelings. And finally, we'll discuss how you can apply Stoic principles to navigate these situations with composure and confidence. By the end, you'll not only recognize these signs, you'll know exactly how to respond like a high-value man. Now, let's get into why most men completely miss these signals and how you can train yourself to see what others don't. Recognizing when a woman is catching feelings isn't always obvious, especially if you've been conditioned to believe that interest is always direct. The truth is, most men miss the signs not because they're clueless, but because they're looking for the wrong things. In this section, we'll break down the common myths and misconceptions that cause men to overlook these signals. We'll also explore some key psychological insights that explain why subtle cues are easy to miss if you're not paying attention. Myth 1. If she likes me, she'll just say it. Many men believe that if a woman is interested, she'll come right out and say it. But in reality, most women express interest indirectly through body language, conversation shifts, and subtle testing. Think of it like this. In nature, a lion doesn't announce its approach before striking. It moves carefully, assessing the situation. Similarly, women often test the waters before making a move. A woman might start by spending more time around you, texting more often, or giving you subtle compliments. If you're expecting her to say, "I like you," let's go out, you're likely to miss the signs she's already giving. We've only covered 3 of the 10 key phrases so far. The rest of the list includes, "I was thinking about you earlier. You're really funny. I love how ambitious you are. I don't want to ruin our friendship. I hate seeing you with other women. You can be so frustrating. What are we?" Each of these phrases holds a hidden meaning, and knowing how to interpret and respond to them will separate you from the average man. Would you like me to continue with the next phrases, or do you want any adjustments to this format before we proceed? Phrase 4. I was thinking about you earlier. What she's really saying. When a woman tells you she was thinking about you, it's not random. She's deliberately revealing her emotional investment. She's trying to let you know that you've crossed her mind when you weren't around. This is a green flag, but it's also a test. She's watching your reaction. If you overreact, she'll pull back. If you brush it off completely, she might assume you're uninterested. Why this matters. This is a soft way of admitting she likes you without being too direct. She's trying to gauge your interest. If she says this and you respond poorly, she might rethink her attraction. The way you handle this determines whether she continues to think about you even more. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A high-value man understands that this is a sign of emotional engagement, not a declaration of love. He doesn't overanalyze it, and he doesn't seek more validation from it. He lets her attraction grow naturally. He also knows that keeping a little mystery alive is key. He won't ruin the moment by interrogating her about what she was thinking. How to respond. Wrong response. 1. Really? What were you thinking? Sounds too eager. Puts pressure on her. Wrong response. 2. Haha, I bet you were. Can come across as arrogant or dismissive. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response. Oh yeah? Hope they were good thoughts. Casual leaves room for her to explain if she wants to, or if you want to keep the conversation playful, be careful. That's how addictions start. Light teasing keeps the energy fun. By responding this way, you acknowledge her interest without making a big deal out of it, which keeps you in control of the dynamic. Phrase 5. You're really funny. What she's really saying. At face value, this might just seem like a compliment, but in reality, humor is one of the strongest attraction signals for women. When she tells you you're funny, she's indirectly saying, I enjoy your company. You make me feel comfortable. I like your energy. Why this matters. Women aren't attracted to men who just tell jokes. They're attracted to men who can make them feel something. If she's highlighting your humor, she's acknowledging that she feels a certain way when she's around you. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man might immediately seek more validation by saying something like, "Really? What's the funniest thing I've said?" which kills the attraction. A high-value man takes the compliment without acting like it's the best thing he's ever heard. He knows humor is part of his presence, but it's not the only thing that defines him. How to respond. Wrong response. 1. Yeah, I try. 2. Self-deprecating, takes away from your presence. Wrong response. 2. I know. Too cocky can feel dismissive. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response. Glad you're keeping up. Correct praise. Glad you're keeping up, and keeps the energy flowing. Or, you're just now realizing, keeps an air of mystery, reinforcing attraction. This response acknowledges her interest while maintaining your self-assurance, which makes her even more drawn to you. Phrase 6. I love how ambitious you are. What she's really saying. Women are naturally drawn to men with a sense of direction and purpose. When she tells you she admires your ambition, she's recognizing your drive and confidence, your long-term potential as a leader and provider, your ability to handle challenges without breaking down. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A high-value man doesn't get overly excited or react emotionally when a woman says this. Instead, he recognizes it for what it is, a sign that she's becoming more attached. A Stoic man maintains his composure. He doesn't seek validation from her words. Instead, he remains centered, knowing that his consistent, grounded nature is what makes her feel this way in the first place. How to respond. A common mistake men make is downplaying it or overreacting. Wrong response 1. Oh wow, really? That's great. Too eager makes you look like you're craving approval. Wrong response 2. Haha. Yeah. I guess I'm a good guy. Too dismissive. Makes it seem like you don't value her trust. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response. Good. That's how it should be. Or, if you want to add a little intrigue, I appreciate that. Not everyone gets to feel that way around me. This response subtly reinforces your value. It acknowledges her statement without making a big deal out of it, keeping you in control of the interaction. Phrase 2. You're different from other guys. What she's really saying. When a woman says, you're different from other guys, she's recognizing qualities in you that separate you from the average man. Most men are predictable. They chase, they seek validation, they try too hard. If she's saying this, it means she sees you as more composed and in control. She notices your confidence and self-respect. She's intrigued by the fact that you don't react like most men. Why this matters. This phrase is a subtle invitation. She's letting you know that she sees potential in you. She's testing to see if you truly are different, or if you'll crumble like the rest. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A high-value man doesn't let this go to his head. He recognizes it as confirmation that his approach is working. The mistake many men make is trying to prove why they're different by over-explaining themselves. That kills the intrigue. Instead, the best response is to remain steady and let your actions speak for themselves. How to respond. Wrong response 1. Really? Why do you think that? This makes you seem uncertain, needy for validation. Wrong response 2, yeah, I get that a lot. Overconfidence without substance can come off as arrogance. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response, I'd hope so. Keeps it cool, implies self-assurance without bragging. Or, for a more playful twist, you're just now noticing. Maintains confidence while keeping the conversation engaging. This response keeps the dynamic in your favor. You're not seeking approval, and you're letting her curiosity build. Phrase 3, I don't usually do this, but what she's really saying. This phrase usually comes when she's stepping outside her usual behavior. Maybe she's texting you late at night, opening up about something personal, or suggesting an impromptu meetup. What she's really saying is, you're making her feel emotions that override her usual rules. She's testing whether you'll judge her for breaking her own standards. Why this matters. When a woman tells you this, she's signaling internal conflict. She's drawn to you, but part of her is hesitant. How you respond will determine whether she feels even more attracted or pulls away. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man might call her out or tease her too aggressively, making her feel uncomfortable. A high-value man understands the psychology. She wants reassurance without judgment. How to respond. Wrong response 1, oh really? Are you sure about that? Comes off as accusatory. Wrong response 2, haha, yeah, right? Dismissive, which can make her feel insecure. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response, I won't tell if you don't. Keeps it playful while making her feel at ease. Or, if the situation calls for it, people do unexpected things when they feel comfortable. Acknowledges her feelings without making a big deal out of it. This approach allows her to relax without feeling judged, and that deepens attraction. We've only covered 3 of the 10 key phrases so far. The rest of the list includes, I was thinking about you earlier. You're really funny. I love how ambitious you are. I don't want to ruin our friendship. I hate seeing you with other women. You can be so frustrating. What are we? Each of these phrases holds a hidden meaning, and knowing how to interpret and respond to them will separate you from the average man. Would you like me to continue with the next phrases, or do you want any adjustments to this format before we proceed? Phrase 4, I was thinking about you earlier. What she's really saying. When a woman tells you she was thinking about you, it's not random. She's deliberately revealing her emotional investment. She's trying to let you know that you've crossed her mind when you weren't around. This is a green flag, but it's also a test. She's watching your reaction. If you overreact, she'll pull back. If you brush it off completely, she might assume you're uninterested. Why this matters. This is a soft way of admitting she likes you without being too direct. She's trying to gauge your interest. If she says this, and you respond poorly, she might rethink her attraction. The way you handle this determines whether she continues to think about you even more. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A high-value man understands that this is a sign of emotional engagement, not a declaration of love. He doesn't overanalyze it, and he doesn't seek more validation from it. He lets her attraction grow naturally. He also knows that keeping a little mystery alive is key. He won't ruin the moment by interrogating her about what she was thinking. How to respond. Wrong response 1, really? What were you thinking? Sounds too eager, puts pressure on her. Wrong response 2, haha, I bet you were, can come across as arrogant or dismissive. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response, oh yeah, hope they were good thoughts. Casual leaves room for her to explain if she wants to. Or, if you want to keep the conversation playful, be careful. That's how addictions start. Light teasing keeps the energy fun. By responding this way, you acknowledge her interest without making a big deal out of it, which keeps you in control of the dynamic. Phrase 5, you're really funny. What she's really saying, at face value, this might just seem like a compliment, but in reality, humor is one of the strongest attraction signals for women. When she tells you you're funny, she's indirectly saying, I enjoy your company. You make me feel comfortable. I like your energy. Why this matters? Women aren't attracted to men who just tell jokes, they're attracted to men who can make them feel something. If she's highlighting your humor, she's acknowledging that she feels a certain way when she's around you. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man might immediately seek more validation by saying something like, really? What's the funniest thing I've said? Which kills the attraction. A high-value man takes the compliment without acting like it's the best thing he's ever heard. He knows humor is part of his presence, but it's not the only thing that defines him. How to respond. Wrong response 1, yeah, I try. Too self-deprecating, takes away from your presence. Wrong response 2, I know. Too cocky, can feel dismissive. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response. Glad you're keeping up. Confident, playful, and keeps the energy flowing. Or you're just now realizing, keeps an air of mystery, reinforcing attraction. This response acknowledges her interest while maintaining your self-assurance, which makes her even more drawn to you. Phrase 6, I love how ambitious you are. What she's really saying. Women are naturally drawn to men with a sense of direction and purpose. When she tells you she admires your ambition, she's recognizing your drive and confidence, your long-term potential as a leader and provider, your ability to handle challenges without breaking down. Why this matters? This is more than just a compliment. It's a subtle way of signaling deep attraction. Women know that an ambitious man isn't easily swayed by emotions, he's focused on bigger things. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man might start over explaining his ambitions, trying to impress her. A Stoic man, however, doesn't let this compliment change his course. He stays focused on his path, knowing that ambition is something to be lived, not just talked about. How to respond. Wrong response 1. Yeah, I'm trying to build something big. Sounds like you're seeking approval. Wrong response 2. I just want to be successful. Too generic, lacks conviction. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response. I appreciate that. I'm just getting started. Keeps it cool, confident, and forward-focused. Or good. Stay tuned. Keeps her intrigued about your journey. By responding this way, you reinforce your ambitious nature without seeking validation, which makes her respect you even more. So far, we've covered 6 of the 10 key phrases that signal when a woman is catching feelings. The remaining 4 include, I don't want to ruin our friendship. I hate seeing you with other women. You can be so frustrating. What are we? Each of these phrases carries deep emotional meaning, and how you respond determines whether you build attraction or lose it completely. Would you like me to continue breaking down the next 4 phrases, or do you want any refinements to this format before we proceed? Phrase 7, I don't want to ruin our friendship. What she's really saying. This phrase is tricky because it can mean 2 different things depending on the situation. She genuinely values your friendship and is hesitant to cross that line. 2, she has feelings for you but isn't sure if she should act on them. The key here is that she's thinking about the possibility of something more. Even if she's hesitant, the fact that she brought it up means it's on her mind. Why this matters? This is often a test. She's looking to see how you react, whether you get needy, defensive, or remain unfazed. Women are drawn to men who are in control of their emotions. A weak response can make her pull away, while a confident response can increase her attraction. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man might panic and start pleading his case, saying things like, "But I think we'd be great together." Too desperate. "So you don't feel anything at all?" Too needy. A Stoic man, on the other hand, understands that emotions come and go. He's not fazed by this hesitation. He simply acknowledges it and moves forward. How to respond? Wrong response 1. "Yeah, I wouldn't want to ruin our friendship either." Sounds like you're agreeing, which can push you further into the friend zone. Wrong response 2. "Come on, you know we have something." Puts pressure on her, which can make her pull away. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response: "I hear you. Good friendships are rare. Keeps things neutral, doesn't react emotionally." Or, "I get it. No pressure either way." Shows confidence you're not pushing, but you're also not begging. This response tells her that you're not desperate, you're in control, and you're okay with whatever happens. That kind of attitude makes you more attractive. Phrase 8. "I hate seeing you with other women." What she's really saying. Jealousy is a clear sign of emotional attachment. Even if she hasn't fully admitted her feelings, this phrase means she's thinking about you in a romantic way. She might phrase it differently. "Are you talking to someone else?" "Oh, so she's just a friend, huh?" Wow, you move on fast. But the meaning is the same. She doesn't like the idea of losing you to someone else. Why this matters? This is another test. She wants to see if 1. You're easily guilt-tripped. 2. You'll start explaining yourself, which lowers your value. 3. You stay calm and confident, which keeps her attraction alive. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man might feel the need to justify his actions by saying, No, she's just a friend. I swear, I'm not seeing anyone." A Stoic man, however, doesn't get defensive. He understands that attraction is built on scarcity. People value what isn't easily available. How to respond? Wrong response 1. "Don't worry, she means nothing to me." This makes it sound like you're guilty of something. Wrong response 2. "Why do you care?" Too aggressive, can turn her off. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response: "Interesting. Why does that bother you?" Flips the script, makes her confront her feelings. Or, "Oh, so you're keeping tabs on me now." Light teasing, keeps it playful. This response makes her reflect on her own emotions rather than putting you on the defensive. It also subtly reinforces the idea that you are a man with options, which increases your value. Phrase 9. You can be so frustrating. What she's really saying. This phrase usually comes up when she's emotionally invested but feels like you're not reacting the way she expects. It could mean she wants more attention from you. She feels like you're not giving her clear signals. She's testing to see if you'll chase her. The worst thing you can do is take this as an attack and react emotionally. Why this matters? When a woman is frustrated but still engaging with you, it means she cares. If she didn't care, she wouldn't bother expressing frustration. A weak man might see this as a bad sign and start over-explaining himself, trying to fix the situation. A strong man sees this for what it is, a form of emotional investment. How a Stoic, high-value man interprets it. A lesser man will try to smooth things over by seeking approval. "I'm sorry, what did I do wrong? I didn't mean to frustrate you." A Stoic man understands that frustration can be a sign of attraction. He doesn't rush to fix things. Instead, he stays centered. How to respond? Wrong response 1. "I didn't do anything wrong." Too defensive, makes it worse. Wrong response 2. "Why are you always like this?" Too aggressive, kills attraction. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response, yeah, I get that a lot. Confident, non-reactive keeps the frame. Or, good. Life would be boring otherwise. Playful doesn't give away power. This response keeps the tension fun and engaging rather than turning it into an argument. Phrase 10, what are we? What she's really saying. This is the big one, the phrase that signals she wants to know where she stands with you. She wouldn't ask this unless she had developed strong feelings. She's essentially saying, are we serious, or am I wasting my time? I need to know if I should invest more emotionally. Do you see me as more than just casual? This is not the time to panic or say something vague. How you handle this determines the future of your relationship. Why this matters. If you respond too emotionally, you'll come across as unsure or weak. If you respond too dismissively, she might feel like you're not serious. A Stoic man understands that relationships should be based on mutual value, not pressure. How to respond. Wrong response 1. I don't know, what do you think? Too unsure, lowers your value. Wrong response 2. Why does it matter? Too dismissive can make her feel unappreciated. Instead, take the Stoic approach. Correct response. I like what we have. Let's keep enjoying it and see where it goes. Confident keeps the frame. Or, you seem to be thinking a lot about this. What are you looking for? Flips the question back on her. This response keeps you in control of the frame, making her feel secure while keeping the dynamic relaxed. By understanding these 10 key phrases, you can navigate attraction with calm, confidence, and clarity, just like a high-value man should. A in-depth philosophical overview. To truly understand why the Stoic mindset makes you irresistible, we need to dive deeper into the core principles of Stoicism. The philosophy isn't just about accepting hardships, it's about embracing self-control, emotional resilience, and clarity of thought. Stoicism, founded by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus, is all about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. This mindset is not only powerful in life, but can also transform the way you navigate relationships. Let's break down a few Stoic tenets that will help you understand how to approach dating and life like a high-value man. Control what you can. The Stoics teach that we should focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. In dating, this means you cannot control how a woman feels, but you can control how you respond. When you practice this mindset, you take the emotional burden off her reactions and focus on your own emotional mastery. Premeditatio malorum, negative visualization. This is the practice of imagining the worst-case scenario. It helps you mentally prepare for any situation, ensuring that you remain calm, composed, and unflappable no matter what happens. In relationships, this can be incredibly powerful. You aren't thrown off balance by small disagreements or moments of uncertainty, because you've already mentally prepared for them. Emotional resilience. The Stoics were masters at not letting emotions control them. They didn't shy away from emotions, but they trained themselves to act based on rational thought rather than emotional impulses. A man who is in control of his emotions is far more attractive to women because he offers emotional stability and maturity. B. Practical applications in dating. Now that we've covered the core principles of Stoicism, let's break down how to apply them specifically to dating. You're probably wondering how this philosophy translates into real-life situations with women. Here's how each principle comes into play. Control what you can. You cannot control her feelings or reactions, but you can control your actions and responses. If you remain calm, composed, and thoughtful, you'll find that women will be drawn to you. They don't want a man who reacts impulsively or emotionally. They want someone who can handle stress and pressure with ease. Example. If a woman is distant or frustrated with you, a reactive response would be to immediately apologize, beg for her attention, or try to fix things. A Stoic response would be to remain calm, acknowledge the situation, and say something like, "I understand that you're upset. Let me know when you want to talk about it." This shows self-assurance and respect for her space. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. In dating, this means anticipating challenges, whether it's her pulling away, her getting jealous, or even her not being as invested as you are. By anticipating these possible outcomes, you can mentally prepare for them, which will allow you to remain calm and composed when they happen. For example, before going on a date, imagine possible awkward moments or things that could go wrong. When something inevitably happens, like an awkward silence or a miscommunication, you won't be rattled. Instead, you'll be ready to handle it gracefully. Emotional strength. The Stoics believe that true strength lies in self-control, not in giving in to every impulse. When you respond emotionally, it can make you seem weak or unsure. But when you stay grounded and keep your emotions in check, you become far more attractive to women. For example, if she says something that could be perceived as a dig, instead of snapping back, a Stoic response would be to pause, take a deep breath, and respond in a calm and thoughtful way. This not only helps diffuse tension, but also demonstrates maturity and emotional intelligence. See practical exercises. If you want to start integrating Stoicism into your dating life right now, here are a few simple exercises you can practice. 1. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on how you handled your emotions throughout the day. Were there moments where you reacted emotionally when you could have stayed calm? How can you improve your reactions tomorrow? This daily practice of self-reflection will help you build emotional resilience over time. 2. Journaling about emotional responses. Keep a journal where you note down any emotional situations you encountered and how you responded. Did you react impulsively, or did you maintain your composure? Over time, you'll notice patterns and can start to make changes. This will help you get more in tune with your emotions and how to manage them better. 3. Guided visualization. Take 5 minutes every morning to visualize challenging dating scenarios and how you would respond in a stoic, calm manner. Imagine her testing your patience or being distant. Picture yourself responding without anger or frustration, simply with calm clarity. By practicing this visualization, you'll condition yourself to respond with poise when real situations arise. A Stoic mindset makes you irresistible because it gives you the ability to stay calm, confident, and in control. When you follow Stoic principles like focusing on what you can control, preparing for challenges, and managing your emotions, you naturally become a man who is unshaken by external circumstances. This makes you incredibly attractive to women, as they are drawn to men who provide emotional stability and are not easily swayed by emotions. By practicing Stoic techniques like daily reflection, emotional journaling, and guided visualization, you can start transforming your mindset today. And with time, you'll become the kind of man who commands respect, attracts high-value women, and navigates dating with grace and confidence. Would you like me to continue with the High-Value Man Challenge section, or would you prefer to focus on another aspect of the video? A. Expanding the challenge. Now that you've learned about the Stoic mindset and how it applies to dating, it's time to put it into action. Theory is one thing, but practice is where real change happens. This section will guide you through a 7-day challenge designed to help you integrate Stoicism into your daily life, making you more emotionally resilient, self-aware, and in control of your dating experiences. Here's how you'll break down the challenge each day. Day 1, observe your emotional triggers. Start by becoming aware of your emotional responses. Throughout the day, keep track of moments when you feel upset, frustrated, or overly emotional. This might be in conversations with women, family members, or even in work situations. Action. Write down the situation, your initial reaction, and how you felt. Were you defensive? Angry? Anxious? This step is all about awareness. Knowing your triggers is the first step in controlling them. Day 2, practice pausing before responding. On day 2, practice taking a moment before reacting to any emotional situation. This means if a woman says something that gets under your skin, or you feel a surge of anger or frustration, pause for a few seconds to process. This short break will help you regain control and respond from a place of calm, rather than reacting impulsively. Action. In conversations, when you feel triggered, take a breath before responding. Notice the difference in how you communicate and the response you get in return. Day 3. Challenge yourself with a cold approach or self-validation. Today, take a step out of your comfort zone. This could mean approaching a woman in person, cold approach, or engaging in a challenging social situation where you have to rely on self-validation instead of seeking approval from others. The goal is to remain composed regardless of the outcome. Action. Find an opportunity to approach someone or put yourself in a vulnerable situation where you can practice internal validation. Focus on how you feel during and after the interaction. Did you stay calm and confident? Day 4. Reflect on past interactions. On day 4, look back at past interactions, whether recent or long ago, and analyze how you handled them. Did you miss any signs of women's feelings? Did you react emotionally in situations where you could have stayed calm? Action. Reflect on these past moments and identify opportunities for improvement. How could a Stoic mindset have helped you handle those situations differently? Day 5. Practice calm communication. Today, challenge yourself to engage in calm communication, especially when you're discussing something challenging or uncomfortable. This might be with a woman, a friend, or a colleague. Practice listening without interrupting and responding with clarity, rather than letting your emotions dictate your words. Action. In a conversation, especially one where there's potential for tension, practice listening more than talking. Take a moment to process before responding, and notice how this affects the outcome of the interaction. Day 6. Experiment with active listening. On day 6, focus on active listening in all your conversations. This means not just hearing the words, but paying attention to the emotions behind them. By tuning into what the person is saying on a deeper level, you'll be able to respond more thoughtfully and with greater empathy. Action. In your interactions, focus on listening fully to the person. Avoid distractions and really try to understand what they're expressing, both verbally and non-verbally. This will help you manage your emotions and respond from a place of understanding. Day 7. Compile your insights and reflect. On the final day of the challenge, reflect on what you've learned throughout the week. How has your Stoic approach shifted your mindset and your interactions? Are you more in control of your emotions? Do you feel more composed and confident in your responses? Action. Write a reflection on your progress over the last week. What improvements have you noticed? What challenges did you face? What's your next step moving forward? To help guide you through this challenge, I've created a downloadable workbook that includes daily prompts, journaling exercises, and a space for you to track your progress. This workbook will help you stay accountable, reflect on your growth, and keep you on track as you transform your approach to dating and relationships. Make sure to download it from the description below, and feel free to print it out and use it as a daily reminder to stay committed to this challenge. I want to encourage you to share your progress and experiences throughout the challenge, whether it's in the comments section or through our community forum. Sharing what you've learned will help hold you accountable and will inspire others on the same journey. Action. In the comments, let me know how the challenge is going. What's been the biggest shift in your mindset? What's been the hardest part? Don't hesitate to share this as a community, and we grow together. By the end of this 7-day challenge, you'll have a clearer understanding of how the Stoic principles we've discussed apply to real-life dating and relationships. And with practice, you'll see the difference it makes in your interactions with women and how you navigate emotional situations with calm and confidence. This 7-day challenge is all about practical application. The goal is to get you out of theory and into real-life experiences where you can actively practice the Stoic principles we've discussed. By observing your emotional triggers, practicing calm communication, and reflecting on your interactions, you'll be able to build a more emotionally resilient and self-confident mindset. The Stoic mindset isn't just about intellectual understanding, it's about living and breathing it every day. So, by completing this challenge, you'll start to see lasting change that will make you more attractive, grounded, and in control in all aspects of life. As we reach the end of this video, let's take a moment to recap the key points. Recognizing subtle signs, we covered 10 things women say when they're catching feelings. By recognizing these signs early on, you can better understand where you stand and how to handle the situation with composure. The importance of a Stoic mindset. The Stoic mindset isn't just for personal growth, it also improves your interactions with others, especially in dating and relationships. Remaining calm, composed, and emotionally detached allows you to navigate these situations with ease, avoiding unnecessary drama and stress. How small, deliberate actions can transform your approach. Every interaction is a chance to practice Stoic principles. With small daily actions, like pausing before responding or observing emotional triggers, you'll notice gradual changes in how you handle relationships. Now, let's address a few common questions that may be on your mind after watching this video. Q1. What if I feel overwhelmed by my emotions? This is a normal response, especially when you start practicing Stoicism. The key is to acknowledge your emotions, not ignore them. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about controlling your reactions to them. If you feel overwhelmed, take a step back, breathe, and reflect. You can control your next step. Q2. How do I know if I'm misinterpreting our signals? It's important to remember that context matters. Women may give signs of interest, but not all signs mean the same thing. Don't jump to conclusions based on one phrase or action. Pay attention to patterns of behavior and ask yourself if the signs are consistent over time. A Stoic mindset helps you avoid reacting impulsively to a single statement or interaction. Q3. What if I'm not sure I'm ready to take this on? If you feel uncertain, that's completely okay. Stoicism is a process. You don't need to have it all figured out immediately. Start small, maybe by incorporating just one principle a week, and gradually build from there. The key is consistency and self-compassion as you grow. Before we finish, let's leave you with some final motivation. Remember, women respect men who respect themselves. The Stoic man doesn't chase after validation or let emotions control his actions. He remains grounded, composed, and unshakable. Cultivate this mindset, and you will naturally attract and maintain high-quality connections. It's not about perfection. It's about growth, consistency, and control. If you found value in this video, I encourage you to take the next step. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By subscribing, you're joining a community of like-minded men who are committed to self-improvement and mastering relationships with a calm, confident, and Stoic mindset. Leave a comment with your biggest takeaway from today's video. What will you focus on this week to improve your emotional resilience? I'd love to hear about your experiences and reflections. Share this video with someone who might benefit from learning how to handle relationships with more clarity and composure. Help spread the message of Stoic self-mastery. Finally, don't forget to download the free workbook and take that first step on your 7-day challenge. Join the community in the comments or in the forum and let's keep growing together. Thank you for watching, and remember, you can't control everything that happens, but you can always control how you respond. Stay stoic, stay composed, and keep working on becoming the best version of yourself. See you in the next video.